All right. This is a Q&A with Mark Sanset. And you know him, but you might not know me. I'm Saria Tennis, just Saria. I do the channel Saria Tennis. And I'm meeting with Mark. Isn't that cool? Okay, we got some questions anyway. So New Player asks, question for the next Q&A. Mark, what camera gear / setup do you use? Is it different for live streams and recording match play? And what is your editing setup like?
Sure. So that's a pretty good technical question. I might do a gear check for my production stuff that I do from time to time, and obviously I did a gear check for my tennis bag. So the camera that I'm using right now for non-match play situation is the Sony a6600, and I use the stock lens for the most part. And then I use a Deity shotgun mic, because sound is very, very important. And then a Joby mount for vlogging and for small stuff like this. But my match play recording gear is the the GoPro Hero 8 Black with a mount from Functional Tennis. I'll leave a link to those things down in the description below for you guys to check it out. Again, not sponsored by anything whatsoever. Just I'll give it to you guys at full retail, and I'll give you my honest feedback on each equipment as well if you guys are interested in that.
And what's your editing process like once you're done drinking?
So my editing process is Adobe Creative Cloud. So I use 99% of the time I'm using Adobe Premiere Pro. It's basically like iMovie or DaVinci or Final Cut for my editing. And then every now and then I'll use After Effects, but that's very, very complicated and very heavy for editing.
Yeah. Okay.
Video composition. Thank you.
Sure. Next is Karen. Hi, Karen. Karen says, can we have tennis photography sub-channel, please? That's I got interesting pics. Okay.
Yep. So I did make a tennis video review channel, I think, on my Discord. I will also add, when I get back to the hotel room later tonight, I'll also add a photography one too, and I'll post some of my stuff in there too, since I'm starting to become an amateur photographer as well.
Nice.
So thanks, Karen.
And Jills asks, to add on to New Player's question, what height do you record your tennis matches at?
So the tennis matches are being recorded at eye level, so depending if you're a manlet, Chad, or a Preston, it's anywhere between 5'6" and 6 feet tall. So I like that angle better than any angle I've seen on YouTube or even on TV, because, as we were talking about earlier, you see how fast the ball's coming. On top of, you see the net clearance for the ground strokes, how high some of these balls, or unfortunately how not high some of these balls actually are coming at you. So
yeah, and it also helps you see what types of spin are being imparted on the ball more clearly with how fast the ball is dipping, or if it's just floating like a slice. It's very nice court level view. It rocks. Anyway, Portal Nero asks, what socks do you use?
I use Nike socks, but I'm not really loyal. Nike just happens to look the coolest. There were some Nike sock lines that I just wasn't really a big fan of, but I'll use Nike, whether it's ankle height, quarter, or even the ones higher up towards the calf. I'm really not too particular. As long as they're durable, they do the job. I'm not too vain on socks. I don't like the super bright colors either, even though I do like pink, but I like it as a top. Apparently so do you. I really don't care for bright colored socks. It's just not a thing for me. So thanks, Portal Nero.
Yeah, and on the topic of durable socks, these socks I'm wearing right now are the first durable socks I ever got, and it kind of blew my mind because...
Are they dress socks?
No, they're FootJoys. They're tennis
really?
socks.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I got them from here, actually. Towpath Tennis Center in Cuyahoga Falls, Ohio.
Yeah.
Drop by in case you're around here. Anyway, yeah, they're mind-blowing whenever you actually have a sock that doesn't get a hole in it the first time you play tennis in it. It's great.
I'm pretty good at clipping my toenails, like on probably every 2 weeks. I think everybody's different with that. But I know that if a sock of mine has a hole towards the toes, it's because I haven't clipped my toenails in a while. So I'm pretty good at keeping my toenails at pretty good length.
Yeah, I use my fingernails to clip my toenails, in case anybody was wondering. Sam91 asks, what is your warm-up routine for a match?
So, let's see. Let's take example for today, because obviously today is the last day before my very first match of the biggest tournament of my life. So what I did with Saria, and Saria will probably, you'll be posting our warm-up routine. So if you guys want to check out how me and him hit today, I'll put a link down in the section below to hang out in his channel. He does live streams as well, along with original tennis content, so please check him out. But for example, we just did a lot of target practice up the middle, did some heavy hitting, and then I made you make me run. Wow, I can't talk today. I made you feed me to where I'm not scrambling, but I'm definitely running for a forehand and a running backhand, and then we're playing it out. And then I always like to end with 4-on, 4-off because it's more realistic to a match situation. but we're not keeping score, so there's not so much pressure.
Yeah, 4 on 4 off is one of my favorite match point play drills too as well.
Yep.
So that was very fun, even though I was Zvereving all over the place. To be expected though. Muscle Milk asks, why the change from youronix ezone to the Head Radical Pro?
So that's a question I'm getting a lot, and I'll make a review of my youronix ezone 98, the 2020 version. For some reason, the youronix ezone 98, even though it's a lower stiffness than the Radical, the Head Radical Pro, I was getting a lot of bad arm problems about 3 or 4 months in, and a lot of people on my channel were actually saying that it's not misplaced. It's actually fairly common that people that were using the youronix ezone line, and the ezone 98 specifically, that they were getting arm problems about 3 to 6 months in. So that's something that I gotta bring up with the YouTube community. Say, hey, you should probably stay away from this racket. The Radical Pro I tested, really liked it. It's not perfect. I do want to add some weight on it eventually, but it's getting the job done, and it was fairly cheap. It was like $130 a stick because it was the previous version. So found a pretty good deal on that one.
Nice. Okay. I'm actually gonna go back a little bit because that was the last one. Sorry. Okay. Jill, before those ones, asks, during the Essential Tennis Live, you mentioned talking about mental endurance during a tennis match. Would love to see a video on your insight about it. I always struggle with longer points and knowing to grind it out as the match lengthens due to mental endurance and not physical endurance.
Yeah, that's a pretty good topic, and that goes into more psychology and sports psychology, where you see someone warming up and you're like, oh, this guy or girl is a professional tennis player, and then they go into a match where there's even just an inkling of pressure, and then they just melt down and they don't get far in tournaments. So it's definitely a good topic to talk about. I'll need to do a lot of research, and obviously it's going to be a little bit anecdotal because I went through that phase too, especially as a junior, with all these hormones raging, and I have other things on my mind besides tennis. But now, being almost 31, holy cow, you could be a little bit more focused on like, hey, this is how I get over this kind of fear or this psychological block when it comes to sports. So
yeah, that'll help me as well.
Yep. One more.
Portal Nero asks, how are the World of Warcraft raids going?
World of Warcraft raids are going well. So if you guys don't know, I'm a gamer. Not as much as I want to, but I do play video games, and World of Warcraft is near and dear to my heart as an MMORPG. So I play as an Alliance Resto Druid, so I'm a healer, and I've always enjoyed healing or tanking. I'm not a DPS type of guy, because DPS is for scrubs in my opinion, so apologies if I just offended anybody. But it's going good. We're getting through Heroic Castle Nathria as a raid. We are, I believe, 9 out of 12 done, actually. We gotta beat Sledgefist, the Stoneheart Generals, and then, what's his name? Sire Denathrius for Heroic, and then on to Mythic for Castle Nathria before patch 9.1 comes out, which seems to be it's going to be an April release date. It's going to be a little bit longer than expected due to the recent pandemic, but that's perfectly okay.
Who do you main in Melee?
Melee? For Super Smash Brothers?
For the Nintendo GameCube.
Ooh, GameCube. Who do you?
Captain Falcon.
Okay. I know this is taboo, but Meta Knight, because he's banned in like all major tournaments, I believe.
That's Brawl.
Oh, that's Brawl?
Yeah.
That's the one after?
Yeah.
Shoot. I like Star Fox because he just laser him from a distance. I'm not a competitor.
That's fair, and it works out because
Yeah.
he's like top two tier. Yeah.
Top 2. A close second would be Pikachu, because I would try to knock people in the air and just do the thunder strike, right?
Yeah, thunder.
Where he goes down under, and that pisses a lot of people off. So, can you tell us a little bit about this tennis club? Because we just got done hitting here.
Yeah, sure. So, as I mentioned before, when it was not prompted, this is Towpath Tennis Center in Cuyahoga Falls, Ohio. It's listed as Akron, but it's kind of on the other side. I can't tell you when the club was actually established, but it's been around for around 50 years or more. And actually, it's very exciting times for the club because a brand new clubhouse just opened up 2 days ago. And Mark was one of the first people to be processed through the new front desk. It's kind of glorious. But yeah, this is also a place where I work. I've been on a bit of a layoff because of COVID, but I'm going to be heading back very soon, which is exciting. It's a really nice place, and yeah, you'll be able to see for yourself whenever I post some footage of our hitting. Watch at your own risk. But yeah, that'll be on my channel, Seria Tennis, and really, 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 really nice people here. And I can't recommend it enough if you're in the area. The rates for Northeast Ohio, the rates here are also like I'm not being like told by them to say any of this. I just really think this is a pretty good club to hit at and hang out at. So if you're ever in the area, maybe even hit me up and we can do some hitting together. I am definitely. I won't say it. I'm being kinder to myself. I'm being kinder to myself these days. So, sure, I'll do it. Yeah.
All right. Well, got a big day tomorrow, so I'll see you guys then. And as always, happy hitting.